Hi everyone, I'm Rob Just, and I am super excited to have Ginny Russell and Paul Russell with me today, and we are going to be talking about fish. So I am so excited. So guys, tell me, what's going on in a couple of weeks?
Well, we are going to have the Wild Carp Classic, and this will be the first time it'll be ran by the American Carp Society. Well, I guess in conjunction with the American Carp Society. We've been running it for a while.
Yep. And it's a 76-hour tournament. The anglers fish from the shore for the full 76 hours. They set up camp there and endure all sorts of weather and reel in some big fish.
So it's 76 hours continuous?
Continuous,
From the
yep.
time they set up their tent to the time they end, during the night, everything?
Everything, yep.
And what are the dates?
We have a social that's starting on May 9th that is at the Liverpool Elks Club, and then the fishing starts May 10th at 8 a.m. and ends on May 13th at noon.
Okay, and so the 9th they come in, so they start fishing on the 10th?
Yes.
And then 76 hours?
Yes.
Now, what's you had said that this is the first year that American Carp Society is going to help out. How long have you guys been doing it without them? How many years has this been going on?
Since 2017, Paul and I started. Of course, took off 2020 because of COVID, and then now with them. So we took over then, and we changed a couple things, and we feel made it a little better from the last tournament that it was. But it's been a really good tournament for years.
Yeah, keep building on what we've had. you
Yeah.
know, so
Now, my understanding is you've always had a tournament in May and in October.
yes.
Okay, will that continue now that American Carp Society is
Oh yeah.
still involved?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And now, some of the things I've read about it is that you're looking, or the American Carp Society is looking to make the May tournament more of a week-long event,
Yes.
like a trade show.
Yeah,
Yes.
the May tournament's always been the big one.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's weird. The fall tournament's a little bit more laid back. I mean, everybody wants to fish it and win it. I think some guys even prefer maybe the fall over the spring, but the spring's our big one. That was always, because even since the beginning, I think this all started really in like 2007, possibly 2006. I might be getting it wrong. When, I think it was American Carp Society back in the way beginning with David Moore and then I think Sean Manning and some of the guys. And then they put on the very first carp tournaments here. And then it turned into the Wild Carp Club.
Okay.
And then, actually, there's the Wild Carp Companies, then Wild Carp Club, and then us.
Yeah.
And now the American Carp Society again. So with that, this full circle.
Full circle.
So I'm sure everyone who hears this is going to watch this, and I know the people I've talked to about it, they're like, oh, carp. Like, why carp? Why? My understanding is carp is a big, I don't mean size-wise big, but is a big sport outside the U.S. Like bass fishing is here, or salmon fishing up in Pulaski. Why hasn't it caught on?
That's a good question. It's starting to catch on. Guys like to catch big fish, but there's always kind of been a little bit of a stigmata with the carp too, where they they were kind of judged as like I guess like a trash fish or whatever. So guys always kind of wanted to just stay away from them. And then even when I started carp fishing, or like before when I really got interested in it, I couldn't get them to bite. I couldn't figure out how I could get these huge fish to like eat what I wanted to present in front of them. So it kind of turns into like a thinking game too, because it's like there's so many different things a carp feeds on, so many different flavors that may work, may not work, and and so many cool gadgets, with like electronic alarms,
I'm gonna get
reels
to that.
that go and freeze.
I'm going to get to that in a minute because
What was the question again?
the last 3 tournaments I helped out weighing the fish, and I was just amazed at the fish that these anglers were bringing
so
in.
hard too.
I remember growing up, and I was saying with my son when he first got into fishing. You take your loaf of bread, make those little dough balls, go down to the local pond and fish and catch carp. So it's a lot more than that, obviously.
Yeah, but it can be as simple as that too. I've caught a lot of carp on bread. Yeah.
Now, how big of an industry is this outside the U.S.? I mean, is this like at the level of the Bassmasters, or is it?
It's bigger.
I think
Bigger?
it's bigger, yeah. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry over there, and it's all in Europe. And there's some in South Africa that they do, but it is a big, big deal over there.
Yeah, like South Africa, Israel, Iraq. They fished. I've met a guy that was fishing the Euphrates River, and he was from Iraq. I took a guy fishing from Israel. Japanese guys, they love carp fishing.
And tell them how they use an antiseptic to put on the fish's lips after they reel them in, so they can heal before they send them
These
back out
guys
again.
love carp. They treat them like how we would treat a
Right.
trout.
Yes.
They just love them.
Yep.
So, we know they're big fish. Now, how big, perspective, I mean, how big are the typical fish that are caught here locally? How big is that fish? You're looking at 20 pounds, 25 pounds?
Yeah, like our average weight in the tournament's around 19, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Our biggest fish since me and Ginny have been doing has been a little over 40 pounds. One guy caught, but I mean, a lot of over 30-pound fish are caught. Geez, this fall we got a lot of good 30-pound plus fish out of the
Like
lake.
high 30s.
Yeah, out of the lake. And then springtime's usually when you get your bigger ones. But
And to put that in perspective, I mean, for anyone watching here, I mean, how big is a 30 pound? It's like
oh yeah,
3.5 feet, right?
yeah, it's at least it's pushing almost 40 inches. And depending on how big their bellies are, and every carp has like a different shape. I mean, but they're just big logs with huge fins, and I mean, some of the tails are just enormous on these fish.
Now, do they give a good fight?
Oh, great fight! It's amazing how hard they fight. Even a little one will put up a great fight, but then you get a big one. It's like, oh my gosh.
Now, the couple of tournaments when I was working in, I didn't see any, in my areas I was covering, I didn't see any anglers from New York State. They were all from West Virginia, North Carolina. I mean, is this area, Baldwinsville, Liverpool, known for the...
Big time.
Yeah,
Big time.
It's crazy how many people know about
Yeah.
the Seneca River, and now even Onondaga Lake more than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about it overseas all the time. I take guys fishing from the UK that can't wait to get here. Like,
Yeah.
they fished the St. Lawrence and here a few times. They just love the carp fishing in New York.
So when you said the average was 19, 20 pounds, bigger one was 40, a tournament in Europe, in other parts of the world, what's their average fish?
I don't think it's as high as ours. I think the world record carp, though, is in like Rainbow Lake in France or something. That's like a 100-pound fish.
Holy cow.
Yeah, but they're more like stocked fish that are like bred for like, superior genetics, and they have like, just different forms of mirror carp and common carp. So different lakes can grow these gigantic fish. But as far as like wild fish, is what they consider our fish, not a lot of wild fish left in Europe. So most of the fish are like in the UK, they're in syndicates where it's pretty much, you have to pay to fish these different lakes. And it's a lot like that all over Europe. But,
Well, right, and to put that in perspective, when they have their tournaments over there, and it's a low end, but their minimum weight would be 3 pounds. Ours is 15 pounds for our minimum weight to count
So that,
towards it.
okay, so that shows you the size.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ours is 15 before they even can record it in the tournament,
Yeah.
where others it's 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think in 2000 or 2008, when I think ACS was doing it, the French team was at Lions Park, and they were fishing. I think they won it, and then they never came back after that. I think they were like, hey, we went to America, won the Wild Carp Classic, now we're done. Oh, that was before it was even the Wild Carp Classic.
Yeah.
It was like Northeast Regional Tournament. But they were raving about it. They couldn't believe how good the fishing was. Like, I think maybe, I don't know if you guys were giving them an interview or somebody was, but they didn't even have time to give an interview on the bank. They were catching so many fish. In the early days of this tournament, it was ridiculous how many fish were caught.
The fishing here is obviously on the river, the Seneca. Now, in talking with these other anglers, most of the fishing in this country for carp is in lakes, correct?
Yeah, lakes and rivers pretty much, but yeah, it's kind of 50-50.
Now, is it different fishing in a river versus a lake?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
More difficult? Are the fish bigger? Or
It's just different. Sometimes in a lake you might have to cast, like Onondaga, you really got to cast far in some spots, like 150 yards or maybe even further if you have to. But in a river, it's maybe not as much of a distance cast as it is because you have just pretty much a channel in the middle of the river, bank on one side, bank on the other, but current becomes a huge issue. I mean, as you're baiting, you have to realize that maybe my bait's getting washed away, so I might have to bait more, or then it's like heavier leads. Like we've used up to 8-ounce sinkers, which is a half pound, just to hold the bottom of this river sometimes during the tournament. Yeah.
Now, I know American Carp Society is very big on promoting the health of the fish and the fishing industry. And you had made a comment, Ginny, about in Europe, they put something on there, help them heal. Here is a catch and release, correct?
Absolutely.
So they catch it. It can't be recorded officially until the fish swims away. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's very humane. They
Yes.
recover.
Yes, and if something does happen to the fish, what do you call it, foul mouth or something?
Or if it's foul hooked, they don't count.
Foul hooked, right, then the fish is disqualified. So we make sure that all avenues are taken. They're also supposed to use landing mats, which means the fish is not put on the bare ground. They're put on something soft, so their scales and everything doesn't
okay.
get
Like a
hurt.
big, nice cradle.
Right.
And a mat
Yeah,
for 'em.
yeah.
Now, okay, so back to the comment about the equipment. You know, I'm thinking of, and I'm sure the audience is thinking of, sliced hot dogs and dough balls, right?
Oh, yeah, no,
And I remember one of the fishermen, one of the anglers from West Virginia, I think had a company, a mail order company, where he produced over 200 different flavors of carp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Thomas, a local guy here, Thomas Vagberry of Carp Max Baits, I think he's up to like 50 different flavors or 30. Like, it's amazing. Gosh.
So it's like fly fishing.
Yeah, he's
basically we
produced-
have different flies for different bugs that are
Yeah.
hatching.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's made 8,000 pounds of bait of just different flavors since March. So it's insane. But, oh, yeah, the gadgets, the bait, it's all sorts of cool stuff. Like bait boats. We're that in our tournament. So I have, I forgot what company is donating a bait boat, which is like a boat like this big where you can put maybe like 5 to 10 pounds of bait in it, drive it out into the lake, dump your bait off where you want, and it'll drive back for you, and then you can program it in to just drop in certain spots. You can even hook your line to it where it'll drive out and drop your
Wow.
line down with, yeah. So that, it's just the gadgets are amazing. It is.
So what has been the prize money typically in these tournaments?
This one, usually we'll have 3 sections. So if you want to, do you want to explain? President?
Yeah, usually we have 3 sections because they fish very differently. So we have section A, B, and C. Section A is strictly in the village of Baldwinsville, and that's on the river. Section B is a lot of Onondaga Lake Park in the river, and section C, which we added a couple of years ago, is Onondaga Lake, which again I'm thrilled about because we know how the lake,
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
the lake
it's
fish
cleaned
is
up.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
So it depends on how many pegs there are, but in the past that's all we've had. This year we do have an overall prize winner of $12,000. So whoever has the most, their 10 highest fish, because they could catch 100 fish, but we do the 10
10
highest
highest,
in their
okay.
weight.
It's state record.
And yep. So that's $12,000 for the first overall. We also are offering a state record of $50,000, and that fish weighs.
It's a little over 50 pounds, the
Okay.
state record carp. So we're
Yeah.
thinking eventually it's going to get caught in our tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
So have these prize winnings, have the values gone up this year once ACS, American Carp Society, helped
It
out?
did bump up, yeah.
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's helped out a lot. They
Way
know a
more
lot of people.
sponsors, great
Yeah.
sponsors.
Great sponsors.
Now, is this tournament open for the public? Can they come down and just walk around and check it out? And
Oh yeah, we encourage it.
We do encourage it. A story. We have a team, a grandfather, a father, and a son team that fish from North Carolina. And there was a family that would always see them at Lions Park and walk by, and now they've officially adopted them. And so this team now stays with this
Oh,
family in Baldwinsville every time they come up. So it's really nice. And they come to the opening and closing ceremonies. So it's nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
so
great.
May 10th, the official fishing starts.
Yes.
What time?
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Yep.
Okay. And then it'll end Saturday the
13th.
13th.
At noon.
at noon. Okay.
Yep. And then we do an awards ceremony afterwards where people find out what they win, and it's kind of fun.
So what's going forward? The future of the tournament. It's going to get bigger. Prize
Yes.
money obviously is going to go up.
Yes.
Going to keep the October tournament as more of the local.
Yes.
Now, what about World Championships? I heard some rumblings about they were looking at this
There's
area for
rumblings.
that.
Yeah.
There's rumblings. We're hoping to actually find out. It's run by FIPSED, which is some Italian name for Federation of International Fishing. And they're over in Italy, and they will find out hopefully this week whether it's going to come here for
Yeah, they have
sure.
a big meeting in Acapulco right now.
Yep. So we hope, and that will be in October of 2024. And we'll have probably about 26, 27 different countries coming over here. And that includes all of their support staff. And just so it's like the Olympics, one team per country. So,
Oh, so there'll be one U.S. team.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And it's only for medals.
Yep, no money out. And guys, every country wants to fish it.
They
Now,
do.
will this tournament in a couple of weeks dictate whether we get the Worlds, or I mean, if
It's
Or do they already know the reputation of this
Well, we
area?
have to ask them for different, like they have to have like certain pegs set a certain way on the bank, and then like different areas for viewing and making sure guys aren't cheating or whatever. And the way our lake is set up and just trees all around, like I was saying, for these tournaments and lakes they have, they're pretty much built and made for these style of tournaments. Our tournament would be more of a wild water, what they like to call a wild water tournament. So it's like, we had to ask them, like, look, we can cut maybe some lower branches on trees so you get your tents in there, but it's like, there's no way you're gonna be able to take a 12 and 13 foot rod and cast all the way out. So in our tournament, we just set up like our big rod pods, kind of like your tripods, you know, out in the water, you know, and then it's only ankle deep in Onondaga Lake till you get to the drop off. So we're just asking for certain permissions like that, and hopefully they'll allow us to do that. If, you know, like if all that comes together, then we should be able to have a world championship. Yeah, 2024.
2024.
All right, so in a couple of weeks, May 9th, the fun begins. Anything else you want to add to?
I don't think so. I don't think we went over the gadgets enough, though. I mean, let's talk about it. Like, your rods, they go in these cool alarms, all right? So the alarms will go off when you catch a fish, but you can also have a receiver on your belt.
I saw that, the Bluetooth. So you could be in the tent sleeping.
You could be in the tent sleeping, and it wakes you up. And then the other ones will have a bivy light. We call your tents a bivy. And that will actually glow the light, the color of the alarm that's going off. So you can run out, and then the reels go in free spool, like a spinning reel. So you've seen that. And then the fish goes out, and you catch it, and you reel it in. I mean, I really think that's what it's all about. The gadgets and all the cool stuff to catch these fish.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
There's more stuff to buy.
So I recommend you come on down.
Please
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
The Onondaga Lake, Seneca River in Baldwinsville, in Liverpool, right behind the dog park, the Wegmans Dog Park. Check it out. Anglers are more than happy to speak with people.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They are so accommodating.
Yeah.
You really, really owe it to yourself. Come check it out. Let's help support this unbelievable event that's in our backyard that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Once we start on the 9th, we'll be down there at the lake
Cool.
photographing, interviewing. So
right.
once again, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
We appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.